Amazon paid me, you'll see right here, $11,651.21 in August of 2018. So what did I actually expense? What were certain things that I expensed? So this is actually down a little bit from July. I just looked back at the July numbers. I think they were like 15 or 16,000. And then my net profit was obvious. I spent a little bit more, something we're going to talk about here in a second, but my net profit was actually a little bit more as well. Like I said, $11,651.21. Now, usually you don't spend on advertising. Most of the time, my only cost to the business, my only expense outside of the cost of goods is this $129 in commissions and fees, which is like my Jungle Scout and some other little miscellaneous charges here and there that I use on the business. Now, typically, I don't have any advertising charges. I look back, I saw that, and it was a little shady to me, so I look back to see exactly what I did in August, and basically it looks like I spent a lot of money on PPC just to kind of drive sales to products that weren't selling. That is not typical, but when you're doing that many sales for, half the year practically, January to July, a little bit over half the year, and you're doing, whether it's 5,000 sales, whether it's like 500 sales a week or, 1,000 sales a week, whatever you're actually pushing, you're going to end up, I don't care how good at sourcing you are and how good at finding profitable products you are, you can have a 99% success rate with your products and they can be profitable, but you're going to have some that for just whatever reason you didn't source right, and there are a couple ways to handle that. You can pull them out and return them for a refund if it's been less than 30 days. You can also basically give them away and drop the price just to get rid of them. You can also have file for Amazon to destroy them. That works well too. Or what I was basically doing to test to see if it was, could be profitable, which it didn't look like it was when I actually recapped, but I don't remember because it's been a while since I've actually done this, like I said, August 2018, is that basically I spent money on PPC to drive traffic to them and make sales. So it looks like I sold the majority of them for very, very, very low profit margins, and I think I actually lost some money on those, but I was just basically trying to get rid of them out of my inventory so I could go through and basically keep better track of all the different stuff. And I don't necessarily recommend that. I was just testing it out to see if it was viable. So that's what the 220/20 is. Sorry. Like I said, 129 was basically Jungle Scout and some other miscellaneous commissions and fees and stuff. Now, office expenses, there aren't always office expenses. I believe like one month I spent like $2,000 or like $2,500 on this. One thing was like a laptop. The other thing was this desk that I'm talking to you on. And the other thing was a chair, basically where I source all my products. So that's an office expense. Usually what I recommend to most people are just reuse the boxes that Amazon sends to you. You can reuse those as shipping supplies. Reuse the stuff, like the packing stuff and the packing peanuts and like the little bags that basically are shock-proof bags that they send you. You can reuse all that stuff. You basically just need tape. Well, I continued running out of boxes that were different sizes. I continued running out of tape, and which is like your biggest expense outside of your cost of goods usually. And there were some other things that I needed, some other boxes and stuff like that. So that's basically what this $89.91 was. I think I bought like $50 worth of boxes in different sizes, and I also spent like $30 on tape just to stock up, because obviously you want high quality tape, so you want your boxes to stay together. If you're shipping like 50 items in at once, you want to make sure that box doesn't come undone. So that's basically all that was. So if you look at the total expenses overall, it ends up being $439.11, which means my grand total, my net income after all these expenses was $11,212, $11,212.10. And that means that if we deduct the cost of goods, my total profit ends up being $11,212.10 minus $2,795.16, which is exactly what I spent cost of goods wise. And before we actually throw this in the calculator and I show you exactly what I made and what I'll be taxed on, a lot of people ask me, how do I keep track of the cost of goods? It's very, 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 very simple. So with cost of goods, I literally put them all on the same card. I'll charge them all onto my business credit card. Usually, sometimes I switch it between my business credit card and my business bank account, like debit card. 99.9% of the time, they're charged to my business credit card. And so what I do is I literally just look at the statement. I look at exactly what I spent in August of 2018 on that credit card for that month. Boom, I know exactly my cost of goods. And that's how I basically do it. It's very, very easy. I'm not like tallying things up. I just look at the end balance, what I spent, and I know. That's how I know. So let's figure this out. Let's do the math. $11,212.10 minus the cost of goods sold, which is $2,795.06. cents. That ends up being a grand total, a net profit of $8,416.94. But wait, guys, you didn't actually make that. I didn't actually make $8,416.94. This is not what I took home, guys. What I'm trying to say is you have to pay taxes on this. So a conservative estimate, and I've talked about countless times, how to set up a bank account that does this. There are also other apps that basically take out a certain percentage, and you can set that up so that you can basically save it and put into a savings account so you have money to account for your taxes. Now, this is for, beginners that are just getting into it. I highly suggest that you talk to a CPA, and that way, you're talking to a professional, so they can tell you exactly what you need to pay at the end of every month or the end of every quarter. I can't talk today. And that's basically what I suggest. So if for the beginners out there, I recommend taking a conservative 30%. Now, I know that could be high for a lot of people, and it can also be low for some people. But that's a good rule of thumb, because I would always recommend keeping more into a savings account. So if, let's say, hypothetically, you're taxed 20 grand at the end of the year, you have 22 grand in there, and then you get a bonus payback of like $2,000. I don't recommend taking less, so putting 20% or something like that, or 15%, and then having a tax bill of 20 grand and only having 15 grand at the end of the year, because how are you going to come up with that 15 grand to pay your tax bill? So that's why I always allocate a little bit more. It's just the way that I like to do it. Like I said, this is not tax advice. I'm just giving you my anecdotal example. So let's take a conservative 70%, because we're allocating 30% for taxes, and that means that my take-home pay, my take-home net profit, what I actually get to keep after that in August 2018 is $5,891.86 roughly. Round it up, take the extra penny. But that's basically the take-home pay.